Do you know how to answer someone when they ask you a question? For example, if someone asks you, "How is it going?" or "What's up?" Do you know what to say in response? Well, I'm Hannah, and welcome to Explore English with Hannah. Today we're going to look at 10 types of questions that you might hear in everyday life, like "What's up?" or "What's new?" And we're going to talk about how to answer those. The first type of question we're going to talk about is what. We use the word what whenever we want to ask about a thing or when we want to ask about an action. For example, when asking about a thing, you might say, "What time is it?" "It's 5:03 p.m. Or you might say, "What type of dog is that?" "It is a poodle." Notice that in both of these answers, they answer with a noun, like poodle. The other time that you can use the word what is to ask about an action. For example, "What are you doing?" "I'm mowing the lawn." You'll notice that the two common ways to answer a what question are with an action, like "I am mowing the lawn," or with a noun. The second type of question we're going to talk about today is how. We use how for a lot of reasons. Sometimes we're asking for a procedure or how to do something. We might be asking about a quantity. Today we're going to focus on one type of how question. How questions that ask about the condition or quality of something. So for example, if you want to ask someone about how they're doing, you might say, "Oh, how are you feeling?" And then when they answer, they'll say something like this: "I'm feeling really well." You'll notice that whenever you ask a question about what someone is feeling, like, "How are you doing?" you're going to get an answer that is an adjective, like good, well, or all right. You might also ask someone a question about an activity. So for example, "How's your mom doing?" "She's doing really well." You'll notice that that answer has a verb in it. She is doing. We're going to talk a lot about verbs today. While this isn't a grammar lesson, paying attention to the verb tenses of a question can help you know how to answer it. If a question is asked in present tense, you answer in present tense. If a question is asked in present perfect, you answer in present perfect. So when somebody asks you a question, make sure to pay attention to the verb tense that they use. That gives you a grammar hint on what you should say. Our first group of questions is really common. "How are you?" or "How are you doing?" As you may know, these questions are asking about your current condition or state. So let's take a look at the question, "How are you?" You'll notice that "how are you" is in the simple present tense. That gives us a hint. We know that whenever we answer, we have to use the present tense. We do have some options here. We can use the simple present, like "I am well," or we can use the present continuous, like "I am doing well." "Hey, how are you?" "I'm good." You'll notice that this answer used simple present tense and an adjective, good. Let's look at an example with present continuous tense. "How are you?" "I'm doing great." You'll notice that the present continuous has two parts. The first part is a be verb, like am, is, or are. After that, you'll have a verb with an ing ending. That's how you know that it's present continuous, and it means something that is ongoing. So "I am doing well" uses am, be verb, and it uses doing, which is do plus ing. Let's go to the next question, "How are you doing?" You'll notice that with this question, it actually uses the present continuous, are, doing. So that gives you another hint that when you answer, you need to use the same tense. "How are you doing?" "I'm doing great. How about you?" Next, we have a group of questions that are going to ask about how are you in a certain period of time. So for example, "How's your day?" or "week," or "weekend." "How's your day going?" "How is your week going so far?" Those are all forms of the same question. They want to ask about your status or condition or feeling during a certain period of time, like day, week, or weekend. When we answer these questions, we want to pay attention to our question word. The question word is how, and that tells us that our answer should be an adjective, but could be an activity. So let's look at the first example. "How's your day?" This question is asking for a basic summary of your condition during that day. You'll notice that "how's your day" uses simple present tense. You can answer with simple present tense, "My day is good," or you can answer with present continuous, "My day is going well." The next question is, "How's it going?" Now you'll notice this question doesn't ask about a particular period of time, like a day or a week. It's asking for a general update on how your life is going, usually in a recent time period. Because it's a how, you'll also answer with an adjective. You'll also want to pay attention to our grammar here. How's it going? How is it going? That's the present continuous tense. So when we answer, we want to use the same thing. "How's it going?" "It's going well." And then if you want to add more information, you can. So for example, "How's it going?" "It's going well. I just got a pay raise." The next two questions are a little more general. How's your week going? Or how's your week going so far? Again, they're asking about your status or condition during a certain period of time. When you answer, how's your week going? You would answer something like this. My week is going well. What things to pay attention here? 1, answered with an adjective like well, good, all right, bad, and use the same tense. So how is your week going? Present continuous again, is going. You can actually use those same verbs in your answer. My week is going well. All you have to plug in is your adjective at the end of the sentence. My week is going great. My week is going badly. When you ask the question, how is your week going so far? It's the same question. The phrase so far just tells you up until this point in time. So if it's Thursday, how's your week going up until now? Our next group of question uses the what question word. And we know that with a what question word, oftentimes you're going to answer with a verb or action. The first question is, what's up? We're also going to look at what are you up to or what's going on. And finally, what are you doing? Each of these questions is asking about what's happening in that exact moment. Because it's a what question, you're going to answer with the action that you're currently doing, and that's going to be a verb. So for example, what's up? This is not talking about what's directly above you. It's asking about what's going on, or what are you currently doing? So if I were to answer this question, I'm going to pay attention first to the verb tense again. This is simple present. What is up? So I'm going to answer with the same tense, simple present, or with present continuous. So what's up? If I don't have much going on, I could say, what's up? Not much. What about you? If there is something going on and you want to share that, when someone says, what's up? You could say, just finishing my homework. Or, what's up? I'm working on a project. The next question is, what are you up to? Asking the same thing. What are you doing in this exact moment? And you're going to answer with an action. What are you up to? I'm talking on the phone with my grandmother. Another similar phrase is, what's going on? Again, what are you doing in that moment? It can also refer to something that's just going on around you. It doesn't have to be something that you're doing. So for example, what's going on? I'm taking care of my plants. Or, what's going on? The Yankees are winning the game. Both examples are good. Just pay attention to what's going on is going, present continuous, and answer the same way. What's going on? The Yankees are winning. Be verb plus ing verb. That gives you the present continuous, and then the tense matches the tense of the question. Finally, we have, what are you doing? This question is referring to what you are doing in the moment. Just pay attention when you use this question. It can be considered blunt or rude if you use it with someone that you don't know very well. What are you doing? Are doing. That's another present continuous verb. Good job. So when you answer, you want to use the same verb tense. What are you doing? I'm washing the laundry. So question group 4, how are things? How are things going? How is everything? Or how's life? You probably noticed that these are all how questions, and how questions we typically answer with an adjective or an activity. Questions like how are things or how's life are asking a general question about how your current life is going. So is life going great right now because you just got a raise, or is life going kind of badly because you have a friend who's sick? So first question, how are things? Again, general question. You can answer this a lot of ways depending on what you want to tell them, but you will answer with an adjective. How are things? Things are great right now. Or, how are things? Things are kind of difficult right now. Or another example, how are things? Things are going well. You'll notice that each of these answers has a simple present or present continuous verb. It also starts with things are. You have an easy formula to start your answer to this question. How are things? Things are. And finally, notice that they all end with an adjective like well, great, or not so good. The second question in this group is very similar. How are things going? Is asking for an update on life or how life is going in this particular time period. Just like the last question, you have a built-in formula for how to answer it. How are things going? Things are going, adjective. So for example, how are things going? Things are going really well. The question, how's everything, is similar to the question, how are things? They're looking for a general summary update on your life. And you'll answer, once again, with an adjective. So how is everything? Everything is great right now. Or, how is everything? Everything is going really well. Both answers use everything, is, and then an adjective. Or, everything is going, and an adjective. The last question in this group is probably the most general. How's life is asking for a general update on how your life is. And you can answer this many ways, but the most important thing about this answer is you want to start with life is, or life is going, and then answer with your adjective. So for example, how's life? Life is going really well. I just won the lottery. Or how's life? Life is so good. I'm going to the beach next week. Our fifth group of questions is what have you been up to, or what's new? These questions are asking about things that have changed or happened since the last time that you saw someone. And these are both what questions, so they're looking for an action as an answer. What have you been up to? This is looking for an update. How's life been going? What's happened since the last time we saw each other? What have you been up to? It has a new verb tense. This question has the present perfect verb tense. What have you been up to? But it refers to something that happened in the past up until now. And that is perfect tense for this question because you're describing your activities or actions since the last time you met all the way up until now. And once again, when you answer this question, you can use the same words. What have you been up to? I've been really busy. Or what have you been up to? I've been fixing up my house. So pay attention to that have been in the question and use it in your answer. The other question is what's new? And just like the question sounds, they're asking for things that are new in your life since the last time that you spoke to the person. Unlike some of our other questions, with what's new, you don't have to use new in your answer. What's new? I just won the lottery. Won, that's past tense. Or what's new? I've been going to the gym a lot. So two tenses there, simple past, I won, versus the present perfect continuous, I have been going. These can be kind of complicated verb tenses, and we're not going to get too deep into the grammar here. The big point is pay attention to the tense that the asker uses, and follow that as a clue for how you should answer. The next question is pretty simple. How have you been? How have you been is asking for an update on your condition or your status or how you're doing since the last time that you met the person. How have you been is the present perfect tense. So when you answer, you're going to want to use an adjective as well as the have been present perfect verb structure. How have you been? I've been really good. Have been, good. Or how have you been? I've been doing really well. There we use the present perfect with a continuous verb at the end. I have been doing. Our seventh group of questions. Is everything okay? Are you okay? Are you all right? These questions are asking to see if you're good, if you're okay. And usually someone asks this when they're concerned about your mental or emotional or physical health. One thing to notice about these questions is they start with is or are. Because they start with is or are and not what or how, we're going to give them a yes or no answer. So that makes it really simple. So for example, is everything okay? You can either say yes, everything is fine, or no. So simple yes or no answer. Are you okay is the same way. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Or no, I'm scared. Or are you all right? Yes, I'm good. Or no, I'm feeling sick. So you answer with a yes or no answer, and then you can provide more information if you want to. But the beginning of an answer to a question like, is everything okay, is always going to be yes or no. Group number 8, how do you feel? How are you feeling? How do you feel about this? These questions are how questions, so we want to answer with an adjective or an action. Usually these questions are asking about your emotions or your physical health. So how do you feel? Usually asking if you're upset or emotional or sad, or if you're sick to your stomach or you have a headache. So how are you feeling? I feel great. I've been exercising a lot. Or how are you feeling? I feel sick to my stomach. Both answers include an adjective. I, subject, feel, verb, and then I feel okay or great or sick. We also have the question, how are you feeling? You'll give a similar answer here. How are you feeling? I'm feeling sick. How are you feeling? I'm feeling great. The one thing to notice here is that it uses how are you feeling? Present continuous. So you want to answer with the exact same language. How are you feeling? I'm feeling tired. Finally, we have how do you feel or how do you feel about? Same idea. They're asking about your feelings or emotional or physical health. How do you feel? I feel great. I feel adjective. Or how do you feel about the test? I feel good. So in both of these instances, you're going to answer with I feel adjective. Okay, group 9. These questions are going to ask about something in the past. So, how was your weekend? Or what did you do this weekend? These questions are referring to the previous weekend. And the how question is asking if it was good or bad or okay. The what question is asking about the activities that you did over the weekend. So for example, how was your weekend? My weekend was great. It starts with a how was question. That gives us a hint. We need to use the simple past. How was your weekend? My weekend was busy. Adjective ending and simple past tense verb. What did you do this weekend is asking about your activities from the weekend. What did you do this weekend? I went to the lake, or I went swimming. And finally, group number 10. What are you doing this weekend? Or what are you up to this weekend? As you can tell, this question is asking about the future, about what you're doing on the weekend. They're both what questions, so we're going to answer with the activity that we're planning on. So what are you doing this weekend? This is a chance for you to tell them what actions or activities you're doing over the weekend. Are doing is present continuous. You can use the present continuous in your answer. What are you doing? I am going to see some family members. You can also use the future continuous tense. What are you doing this weekend? I will be visiting some family members. The other question is, what are you up to this weekend? Same question. It's asking about your activities coming up this weekend. When you answer this one, you can also use present continuous or future continuous. What are you up to this weekend? I'm going shopping. Or, what are you up to this weekend? I will be going shopping. Congratulations! You just finished learning about 10 common types of questions that you may have to answer in English. Don't be worried if these seem confusing. There are 2 points that I really want you to remember. 1, pay attention to the question word, how or what. This gives you the hint on if you answer with an adjective or with a verb. The other thing to pay attention to is the verb tense that the asker is using. This gives you a lot of hints. So, how is it going? It is going well. If you'd like to read a little more about this, download the free PDF in the video description. It'll include a lot of these questions and how to answer them. And finally, thank you for watching this lesson. I'm Hannah, and I hope to see you next time on Explore English with Hannah. But wait, before you go, I want to ask you a question. What are you doing this weekend? What are you doing this weekend? I am working on my house. It needs to be fixed up. What about you? What are you doing this weekend? Leave your answer in the comments and I'll be sure to reply. Thank you for joining me on Explore English with Hannah. Hopefully I will see you next time.